Welcome to this explainer. Okay, so if you're tuning in right now, chances are you're currently staring down the barrel of the Michigan Department of State bureaucracy. And, well, you might be feeling a little stressed out. It's totally understandable. But take a deep breath. We're going to walk through exactly how to navigate this system step by step. We're taking all the guesswork out of restoring your most important vehicle document so you can get back to your life.
So, picture this. You've finally found a buyer for your used car. They are coming over in an hour, cash in hand. You go to your filing cabinet to grab the title, and it's just not there. You're tearing the house apart, looking in every single drawer, the glove box, the safe, looking for that one crucial piece of paper. It's an incredibly relatable problem. And the reality is, if you can't find it, that sale is completely dead in the water.
Okay, let's dive into this. Today we're covering why your title matters, gathering your required documents, application pathways, costs and timelines, special circumstances, and finally, your action plan.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, Why Your Title Matters.
Now, the state's administrative procedures describe the title using some, let's be honest, pretty dense statutory language. They literally call it the absolute legal instrument for asset verification, commercial conveyance, and secure transaction indexing. I know, right? But to translate that bureaucratic absurdity into plain terms, this piece of paper is the ultimate, undeniable proof that you actually own your vehicle. It's the key to proving the car belongs to you and isn't stolen or unlawfully claimed by someone else.
And just to escalate the stakes a bit here, the Michigan Vehicle Code makes it very clear. Without a title, your car is effectively frozen in place. You absolutely need a title to sell a vehicle. It's 100% mandatory for a legal transfer of ownership. Plus, a vehicle has to have an assigned title before it can even be registered with a license plate and tab to be driven on public roads. So, without it, you can't sell it, and if it's not registered, you can't legally drive it. It's a real bottleneck.
Which brings us to Section 2, gathering your required documents.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what you need before you even start. The state's central database requires specific, mandatory data elements to process your request. You can't just walk in and say, "Hey, I lost my title." You must provide the exact facts. For customer information, you need the owner's full legal name and current Michigan address of record. For vehicle information, you've got to have the unique 17-digit VIN, the vehicle identification number, alongside the make and plate number. You also have to select a singular reason for the duplication, specifically whether it was lost, stolen, or mutilated. And finally, for secured party status, you need to document the active lien holder's name and address, or provide a signed termination statement if you're removing a lien. Gathering this data first, that's what prevents your application from getting rejected down the line.
Moving right along to Section 3, application pathways.
Okay, if you're a standard in-state resident, the absolute most accessible pathway is the online portal. You execute this via the Secretary of State e-Services interface. You just authenticate your identity through the Me Login system, follow the screen prompts, and boom, you can handle the entire request right from your living room couch. It is highly efficient and, best of all, lets you completely skip the line at the branch office.
Now, what's really interesting here is how the protocol shifts drastically for out-of-state residents. If you're in the military, or maybe a former resident who lost their Michigan title while living somewhere else, you actually cannot use that standard online portal. Instead, you have to use a specific out-of-state resident duplicate title application form. You'll fill this out, include a photocopy of your valid driver's license or state ID, and submit it either by mail with a check or by fax with a credit card payment. And here is a huge tip. Electronic or digital software signatures are strictly prohibited on this form. You have to sign it for real.
Let's get into Section 4, Costs, Timelines, and Methods.
Here's where you have to make a crucial time versus money decision. The state basically gives you two main choices. The standard option is a $15 fee. Whether you do this online, by mail, or in person, your duplicate title is going to arrive in the mail in about 14 days. But if you need it right now, like in our earlier scenario with that buyer literally waiting in your driveway, you want the instant title option. This costs $20 and provides same-day issuance. However, the instant title strictly requires an in-person visit to a Secretary of State office. And crucially, all owners listed on the title must appear in person. You cannot use an appointed agent for an instant title, no exceptions.
Actually, before you rush off to pay any fees, we need to clarify a vital piece of jargon, ELT, which stands for Electronic Lien and Title. If you financed your vehicle, your lender likely participates in this program. What this means is your title is held entirely electronically by the state until your loan is completely paid off. So if your title is electronic, there's literally no paper copy for you to lose in the first place. Keeping your title in this digital format is actually a fantastic prevention tip to avoid ever needing a physical duplicate. Just make sure your lender has your current mailing address, and when the loan is finally paid, they'll electronically release the lien to you.
All right, Section 5, navigating special title circumstances. So a very common scenario is realizing you lost your title right as you're trading your vehicle in at a dealership. It happens all the time. Don't panic. The state allows dealerships to assist you with this. The dealer can actually apply for a duplicate instant title on your behalf. They just need a completed TR11L application signed by you and an appointment of agent form, which is known as a TR128, along with a photocopy of your driver's license. The dealership handles the paperwork and your trade-in can proceed smoothly.
Let's move to another scenario. Navigating an inherited vehicle where the original owner has passed away can feel legally overwhelming, especially if you aren't going through probate court. But the steps are actually quite clear. First, you must obtain a certified copy of the death certificate. Second, the closest legal next of kin must complete a TR40 form. That's the certification from the heir to a vehicle. Now, if there are multiple next of kin who share equal inheritance, anyone not taking ownership must sign a statement declining it. Finally, you present these documents, your ID, and proof of Michigan no-fault insurance in person at a branch office to get that title transferred.
And finally, Section 6, action plan and disclaimer.
So, the crucial point to remember here is this. While this explainer is completely comprehensive based on rules accurate as of July 22, 2026, we all know bureaucratic fees, forms, and procedures can and absolutely do evolve over time. You should always verify the most current details, fees, and requirements directly with your local Michigan Department of State before you submit any application or pay any money, just to be safe.
Now that you know exactly how this whole system works, the ball is firmly in your court. You don't have to let a missing piece of paper freeze your assets or ruin a vehicle sale. So which pathway are you going to choose to restore your vehicle state record today? Gather your documents, pick your pipeline, and go get your title back. Thanks so much for joining us for this explainer, and we'll catch you next time.